Hi, in this video I will show you how you can model the 3D framing system in Revit. So we will show how you can insert the joists and the beams, rim joist and post. So for that we have to be on the framing plan view. Now, where you can find those views, we need to go and check in our project browser. So the template we're using, we have a couple of views in different categories. Is like the first one is working view, the presentation view, documentation view, and coordination view. So the framing plan is under the coordination view, and you would see that there is the structural plans under that there is the foundation plan, and there is under the framing plan there is the level 1 and level 2 framing plan. So we can change if you want that I want my framing plan to be under my documentation views, because our most of the views are under the documentation views, and those are the views we will insert them on the sheets. So we can let's change them from coordination views to the documentation views. And another view is the 3D structure view. That is also under the coordination view. So if you click on the 3D structure, you could see the 3D view of my structural framing that I have done. So I already did level 1 framing plan. So it's showing that. Now let's first, before going into those drawings, let's move them into documentation views. Now how I can do that is you open one of the framing plan view, and then you will go to the properties and see, you'll see that we have because all those drawings are under certain view template. So once you go here, you will see that there is the view template. So click on that and scroll all the way down, and you will see that as SOC view group is under the coordination view. So you can change that into documentation views. Now apply and OK, and then right away you will see that my framing plan is not here. Level 1 and level 2, it went to under documentation views. Similarly, we will do for the foundation. If I open that drawing and go to the view template in the properties window and go all the way down and select here the documentation views. Now my framing plan, like structural plans, are under the documentation views. Similarly, we can also change the 3D view, because my 3D structure is also under the coordination view. Let's change that also under the documentation views. So then now I don't need to go to my coordination views for only just the structural plans. But the Revit default template, if anyone uses Revit default template, they have everything is under the project browser, the structural plans you could see. So you can just click on the level 1 structural and then start doing the inserting and doing the framing. But we have different categories. So now our structural plan is under the my documentation views, and you will see the structural plan. So that's my foundation plan, and now that's my framing plan. So that is my level 1, and that's how it will look like after doing a framing plan. Pretty much it's not fully completed, because I just showed like the rim joist, and the joists are over there, the beams, and then we have some posts. So we need to complete that with the rim joist all around here and the joist here. And then maybe you need beams or like another double joist, so you can insert the same way. The process is same. Now let's go to level 2, because I already have level 1 done. And so for the framing plan, we will hide those section lines because we don't need to see them. But when we work, sometimes we need to insert the section line and to see like how it works. But normal general section also will show you the framings. Okay, let's go to level 2 framing plan. Another thing is when I'm going into my level 2 framing plan view, so it shows those walls, and those walls are on the dashed line, and those walls are below this floor. So that's how we work. When we go to the level 1 framing plan, the wall I see and the below, that those are in my basement. And then when I'm on my level 2 framing plan, the walls that is showing, those are on my main floor level. So if I go to section, one of the sections, and can show you over here. So when I did my level 1 framing plan, the walls I see are those walls. And that's the standard way, standard practice of doing the framing plan, showing the framing plan. The walls below, because like when you are doing the framing for this floor, you will need a beam, whether you will need a beam, and then if you have a beam, then you need a post, and then post, the beam, those will affect the layout of your basement. Similarly for second level, so when I'm doing the framing plan for this level, so I will see the walls below here on my main level, because my beam and post will affect the layout of my main floor. So by default in our template, it is like that. But if you want to see like how we can set that up, if I go to view template again, and then you could see that here somewhere like underlay orientation is look down. So that's why I can see the walls below. Okay, now let's come to here how we will do the insert the joist. Now for that we have to go to the structure tab over here at the top beside the architecture tab. So we go to the structure tab, and then you will see that under this the structure panel there is the beam system. So we will click on that, and we will use that for our joist layout. But before doing that, let me go through the properties once again, because here a couple of things we need to um, decide before inserting or drawing our the beam system or like the joist system. Now, the first thing is elevation from level is, it says 3/4, -3/4 inches. Why? Because if you go to one of these sections, you will see that my floor level, that is my, so if I am on my, like when I was doing my level 1 framing plan, my level 1 was over there, but my joist will be, I had the subfloor, which is 3/4 inches thick. So my joist will be under the subfloor, right? So that's why it shows -3/4 inches. It goes at 3/4 inches below my subfloor. So say that's why same thing we'll do over here on the second floor framing. Now next thing is the pattern, which is the layout rule. Now here you could see like a couple of options over there. So what we will, I will just keep fixed distance. That means my the spacing between my joists on center. So I will keep select that. So there are a couple of other options like fixed number. You could also like say like within this distance, like 10 feet distance, I want like 7 joists or I want 8 joists. So you can fix a number. Then Revit will automatically create the spacing, like uniform spacing between them. But I want a fixed spacing. So that's what I did over here, 19.2 inches on center, and justification is beginning. So from the beginning it will measure the distance. Now beam type, though it is calling its beam system, but we are using the joist. So there are different types of joist. So I am using the engineered I joist 11/7/8, and so pretty much that's in my properties. Now let's go to my level 2 floor plan. And now here, before inserting two more things, one is boundary line. So I need to create a boundary and then beam direction. And then it will insert the beams or joist for me. Now, there are a couple, all those different types of drawing tools. Now I will just pick the line, and then I will, from the very edge, I go all the way down. Depending on your framing system, you just draw the boundary. So my joist will be within that boundary. But one thing is I need to create an opening for my staircase. So how would I do that? Well, I have to create a box, say from here, but you will see that I will see a I will see a warning And why the warning? Because it's telling me that there is a line overlapping. So that's why what I have to do is I need to make sure that no overlapping lines are there. Now, you could see that those two lines, it shows the beam direction. Now, if you want to change the beam direction, so now it will insert the beams in this direction, right? Now, if you want to put the beam in the other direction, then you click which direction you want, so then it will now put the beam in this direction. Now, let's see. Oh, I have still, my lines are overlapping. Okay, let's see. I could delete that and then insert a line over there from here to here and then here to here. Okay. Now these are my joists, right? Now if I go to my 3D view, 3D structure view, you could see that it inserted the joist, right? So that is my joist. Now let's go back to here. So that is a boundary. Now if you want to edit, if you see that I need to move this, I need to move that much, like the floor, we edit the floor boundary, the same way you can edit these boundaries. So what you have to do is you select and then edit boundary, and it gives you those magenta lines, and then you have to move and shift the lines if you want to change them. So I don't need, I just cross them out. Now when you select that, you will see that this is the whole boundary, right? That's when you need to change the or edit the boundary. But if you want to just click outside, then you can change each of those joists. If you see that I need to pull that a little bit further down over here, or I need to push that further down over there. So you can, those are all pinned. So you need to unpin, and then you see those arrows and like that circle. So you grab that circle and then you can bring them or resize them. So I'll just back to its original position. Okay, so that's my joist. Now let's do the next thing, which is my rim joist, right? So for the rim joist, and rim joist goes on at this edge. So what I will do is I will go for the beam under the structure again. There's the beam. Now when I pick that, you could see that under the properties, there is some beams options. You can edit the beam later on, or you can pick one and edit type duplicate and create your desired one. So I just picked that one, and now it is for rim board, so I can use that. And just so here the level, I don't need to change anything else over here because my rest of the things would be the same as my choice. So I can draw over here till the edge. I can anytime edit because it should not overlap, right? And then the same way it goes if you want here. It should be at the edge. So if you want to make that at the edge, then I can go to modify and align and then click this. And you can also change that, if you want to extend that until here. You can extend. Right? So that's my rim joist. Here also you can change that, like how it should align. You can adjust that. Say for example these, right? So what you could do is you need to unpin, or let's see if we could like extend there. And so if you want them to come back inside, what I could do is, this is the extend multiple elements tool. So you click on that and pick the edge and then pick the joist that you need to align inside. Okay, okay. So now let's check the 3D structure. So that's my rim joist, right? So you can keep on doing all around the rim joist. Now let's insert a beam. So say for example, I have a beam through or this around like at the edge of my opening, staircase opening. Now let's go back again to structure and go to beam. And from here, you can pick, I edited and make that size. Actually, it is, actually the size is 3 inches. So I can just rename that as 3 inches. So that's my beam. Now I will insert, now for the beam. Now one thing is, when we do our structural framing, what happens is we have the joist and the beam goes underneath in most cases. But some cases we have the flush beam. Or some cases you will have the beam and then the joist goes on top of it. So what will happen is, you will see the beam. Let's go to a section to show you. This is all the joists, and this is the, like, the beam will go underneath the joist, right? So let's go and pick the beam again. And here in the properties, we need to do something to adjust, because it will sit under the joist. Now my work plane is okay, reference level, top of level 1 floor. But instead of 3/4 inch, it will be actually, let's see how much it will be. Let me measure first, right? So my beam would be under here, like here, right? So that will be my 1 foot 5/8 inch. Let's go again. I need to pick my beam again. Save the project. Then, so here, what I will do is minus 1 foot 5/8 inch. Now I will insert my beam from there to there. And if you see that you need another beam somewhere over here, like from there to there. So that is my beam. Now let's see, let's check where the beam is also. Now I could see that my beam is underneath my joist, right? Now you could also see them under my in the section view. So that is my beam under the joist, right? My joist is this way, beam goes that way. Okay. Now, if we insert a post, we will need a post over here. So let's go to the column under the structure. You can under the structure, and then you can pick which column or which post you want. So I just used a post adjustable post. So it's okay. Now I will insert here, kind of like a little bit of eyeball. Yeah, I can pull that a little bit over here. Okay. So now if I go to my structure again, so that's my post. But yeah, I need to do a little bit of the height of the post. I need to adjust that. So you could over here, you see that start level is 0, which is okay. but the end level offset is 0, so we need to make it like a negative something, and then it will come down. But that's how we do the framing plan, and it will look like that. So in this view, I already hit the section. So here also you could hide all the sections that you don't need to. Just hit Control and select all of them and then hide view. So then it will look like that. Now, how could we make the colored, right? So if we put them colored, then it looks really nice. So how we'll do that is you can first we select, let's click and select one of them and then right click. You could do that, or okay, let's do that way first. Override graphics. First I have to select all instances visible in this view, and then I click override graphics view by element, and then here at the top you could see that projection lines. So there you can change the color. You can change the color into blue, and then apply, and then OK. So my all the joists are now blue. You could also, I think, if you go to edit type, I'm not sure you can change there or not, maybe not. It's better to do that over here so then it will not affect in drawings. Right. Now, similar way, if you go to the beam and then right click and select all instances, the same type of beam visible in this view, it will select and then right click and go to override graphics view by element, and again go to the top one, the projection lines, and change the colors. I'm changing that into red, and it will now show red. Similarly, you can also change the rim joist, the color of the rim joist. Post, you can keep it like that. So that's how now what you need to do, and the next thing is you need to add some notes and dimensions, and so those things you can use just under the annotate. There's a text, so you can use them, and the dimensions. And if you want to make a legend, so we know how to do the legend, so you will go to the view and then the legend. So create a legend, and then on the sheet you can insert both of them. So that's how our framing will look like. Thank you.